Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me for a little Sippin My Tea for April. It's the end of April. How did that happen? I don't know where 2026 is gone. It's pretty amazing, but thank you for joining us. Please reshare. I've got some amazing people who are going to share a wonderful project we're working on together. So please reshare so other people can join and drop your questions in the chat, and it'll be all good. I appreciate you. First of all, this is Sippin My Tea, so I start by sharing with you all what tea I'm drinking. And this was a wonderful gift. Thank you all for gifting me tea. My homegirl, Arlene, who comes to our Racial Justice Learning Exchange event almost monthly, Arlene comes on the regular, had gone home to the Philippines, where she had not been in 53 years. Her note says it was an awesome experience after 53 years of absence. Town homecoming, ancestral roots discovery, and retracing childhood memories. Kapwa, Arlene, beautiful note. And she brought me this tea, a pack of tea. And today I'm drinking, it feels like tropical summer is appropriate given the wonderful springtime weather we're having. So thank you, Arlene, you helping me sip some lovely tropical summer fruit tea blend today for Sippin My Tea. I appreciate you. I made it iced tea and put some ice cubes in it, so it's fabulous. April has been a jam-packed month, as the whole year feels like it's been. So let's begin with what this month is. It's Arts Month. It's Autism Acceptance Month. It's Second Chance Hiring Month, and it's Earth Month. Two quick highlights for me. I had an amazing Earth Day experience with some young people who are doing the South LA all electric house. I went to the Youth Climate Summit this month, and it just restored an incredible level of faith in me that young people are gonna do better by the climate and Mother Earth than we did. Thank goodness. So I want to thank those young folks. They did amazing work. Also, in terms of Autism Acceptance Month, I brought forward a motion co-authored by several of my colleagues on the Metro Board a year ago, last April, in Autism Acceptance Month, where we wanted to do a survey of our riders who have different neurodivergent experiences, to really talk about what their experience is like riding on Metro and how we can improve our services. And so the survey was completed. We had a presentation at Metro Board meeting yesterday or this past week. And it was wonderful. I had several board members talk about how proud they were to be a part of us taking action, recognizing how our entire community wants to go Metro, and how important it is for us as a service provider to not only signal acceptance, but to be actual partners to make sure that we are conscious of challenges our family, friends, and neighbors who are neurodivergent have in taking Metro, and what we can do to improve their experience. So I had great experiences in April celebrating both of those communities, talking about climate, talk about our entire community. And so it is. We're coming to an end of April. I want to transition to what we're going to talk about today, which is an issue that plagues us, if you will, all the time, and that's poverty. We launched a countywide anti-poverty pledge. This is coming off the heels of some work we did a couple of years ago. But let me start by saying, I've had debates most of my professional career with policymakers about, whether or not poverty is inevitable. And at the core of this really multi-layered policy issue, these are policy choices that elected bodies have made across generations. I think about the 1963 War on Poverty, waged by President Johnson, and how far we've come and yet how far we have to go. And so recognizing that we here in LA County really needed a bold approach in proactively disrupting that cycle of poverty, back in 2021, my colleagues on the board joined me in declaring poverty alleviation really a county priority. And this led to the creation of LA County's Poverty Alleviation Initiative. I'm very proud of that work. Out of the Poverty Alleviation Initiative, we launched Breathe, which was LA County's program to really figure out how we put cash in the hands of people who need it. It's our guaranteed income program. And we've expanded access to tax credits, grassroots funding for neighborhood solutions. We launched the State of Poverty Dashboard for LA County so we can better target resources to neighborhoods with the highest need. We have to be smarter in terms of how we target resources, particularly in times when particularly federal investment in poverty alleviation programs is going away. So we want the dashboard so we can really begin to target where we get the biggest bang for our buck. Far too many Angelenos are living in both poverty and deep poverty. And we certainly know that the passage of HR 1 is going to do nothing but exacerbate that. Since July of last year, over 240,000 Angelenos have already lost access to Medi-Cal. We have talked about HR 1 on Sippin My Tea before. And so we really want to figure out how we as a county, the safety net level of government, can bring strategies that we know work to our residents. And so with that, that brings me to our most recent motion, where we are calling for a countywide poverty alleviation pledge. Holly, what's a poverty alleviation pledge? I'm going to tell you. Well, mainly my guests today are going to tell you. Please welcome Mayor Freddie Puza, the great mayor of the great city of Culver City. That's not a dangerous place.
It is not. It is not.
And Kristina Meza. And Kristina is the executive director of LA County's Poverty Alleviation Initiative. Kristina, thank you for your partnership and your work. And Mayor Puza is one of the 12 city mayors that I have the privilege of representing in the 2nd district. And I have the honor of sharing constituencies. So thank you very much. I appreciate you both joining us. Mayor Puza is in the Sacramento airport. I told him I didn't know nothing about that place. So thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Okay, you know, Kristina, it must be you because we're having some technical difficulties today. That's why people see the tech support on the screen, but we're going to get through it. I'm going to sip some more tea. Kristina, what tea are you drinking today?
Today, I am drinking a peach tea from a local small family-owned business down the street from our office. And it is called Peachone, the name of the cafe. Great tea, but they're mostly known for their wonderful pastries, but still great tea.
Beautiful. Now, you know, we can have pastries when we sip our tea. So next time I have you on, just you get a pastry and make sure I have one too so we can both enjoy.
I will.
Let me ask you, Kristina, for people who may not be aware of your department, please give us kind of your elevator pitch on the department's approach to the critical work of combating poverty.
Yeah, thank you for that, Supervisor. And as you mentioned, I'm the Executive Director of the Poverty Alleviation Initiative, which sits within the County CEO's office. And we have an entire strategic framework that allows us to facilitate project implementation, but as well policy advocacy to support poverty alleviation related efforts countywide. And we work with county departments, we work with state partners, we work with advocates, we work with nonprofits. It is a mission with a large charge, and so we know that that means that we need to work with all types of folks to make this become a reality.
I agree. Mayor Puza, first of all, I don't know, you're in the airport. Are you sipping any tea? If you're not, I understand.
I am. Actually, there's a place right behind me called Sidewalk Juice. I have just iced tea. It's organic and fair trade, and it's original black tea, and it's really good and tasty.
Oh, fabulous.
And I was going to say, I want one of those pastries.
Right. All three of us. So tell me the name of the place again for the next time I'm in the Sacramento airport.
Sidewalk Juice. It's in the middle of the aisle kiosk.
Beautiful. Sidewalk Juice. Yep. So Mayor Puza, I appreciate you. You were one of the first mayors to support this initiative. Thank you for that. So what motivated you to want Culver City to be a part of this? And let me just tell people what it is. When we ask cities to take a pledge, let me tell you what it is. Most people may not know, but every year, more than $1 billion, that's 1 billion with a B, in unclaimed financial assistance and tax credits is really left on the table. And this money that could help people keep food in their home, put a roof over their head. Many families just aren't aware that they're eligible to receive these tax credits, these government subsidies, these resources. So we are asking cities to take a pledge to help the county make sure people know that they are eligible for this basically free money. So how do you think taking the pledge is really going to help change this in the great city of Culver City?
Well, yeah, thanks for that question. And it's such an honor to be here with you. And thanks for your leadership on Breathe and this initiative. And thanks for your work in this area, Cynthia. Culver City is a place of innovation and opportunity, but we also know that too many families, people, seniors, immigrants, workers are struggling to make ends meet. And so I really wanted to support this initiative early on because it reflects a basic truth that no city can solve poverty alone. And so it's going to take coordination, shared accountability, and a willingness to think bigger than our boundaries. And I think many people think that Culver City is just very wealthy, very fortunate, but for our residents, nearly 3,000 Culver City residents live in poverty, and thousands more are one missed paycheck away. So this initiative will really help reach those families with actual resources that they're eligible for. And this effort also aligns with the work we're already been doing in Culver City. I recently received support from my colleagues to launch an affordability subcommittee focused on exploring universal basic income, childcare, strengthening tenant protections, and investing in economic mobility. So we can scale these efforts through this countywide pledge and be a part of a unified strategy, which is something we really need in the county.
I agree. You know, Kristina, I convene all the mayors that I have the privilege of representing twice a year, and we use the data from your dashboard to share with all the mayors. Mayor Puza was already enlightened. There were some mayors who were shocked when we talked about the level of poverty and the number of our shared constituency who rely on public benefit programs. So I'm proud to continue to work with you. So Mayor Puza, why do you think this is going to benefit Culver City residents? So why did you want to be a part of it and take the pledge?
Yeah, and forgive me, I think I said Cynthia earlier, but I meant Kristina. So
Yes.
Please forgive me on that. And, poverty really doesn't end at city limits, especially as we know in LA County, which has 88 cities. So the cost of housing, access to good jobs, healthcare, are regional challenges that require a regional response. And so this pledge, as I said, is really about bringing all these cities together around shared goals and the most important measurable outcomes. So we're not working in silos. And so the more we can work together, the better. It also comes at a critical time, which you mentioned earlier, with federal cuts and to the social safety net and growing fear in some committees about accessing benefits. It's more important than ever that local governments step up to ensure residents can access the resources available to them. So this is going to help expand access to benefits, ensure support reaches those most impacted. But ultimately, I think this initiative is really about building a stronger, more stable community for everyone. If the moral imperative doesn't move people, there's also a clear economic case, because when we reduce poverty, it strengthens our workforce, it supports small businesses, which is the backbone of Culver City's economy, and creates more resilient communities. And so we know that when people's basic needs are met, it reduces crimes of desperation and improves community safety overall. I just want to note that, abundance also doesn't solve crime entirely either. So there's a lot of wealthy people that commit crimes as well, but, I'm digressing a little.
See, y'all, that's why I love my district and I love my mayors and I love my Culver City, because we are so aligned on that, Mayor Puza. I'm active in my national affinity groups, CSAC, our state California State Association of Counties. I'm active in NACO, NOBCO. And so I'm going to be going to those organizations at their national convenings this summer. And I'm going to be bragging about you and this concept of us locking arms with cities. I think sometimes cities think about, you know, the social safety net and the entitlement programs and the family support programs as the county or the state's responsibility. But this is a way that we can come together to make sure that this money that their residents are entitled to, just don't know that they are, can access. So this is going to be really, really important. Kristina, tell us how people can be part of the pledge, and particularly folks who might be watching and listening, who might want to call their mayors and say, do you know about the pledge? You better act like Mayor Puza. What should residents be aware of, and how can people be a part?
Yeah, great question. So there's a few ways that folks can engage. The first and easiest way, you know, we've been referencing this pledge as the anti-poverty pledge, which really speaks to what we aim to do. There's 3 primary goals that live within the pledge. Obviously, getting folks back the cash that they're entitled to in the form of tax credits is at the heart of one of the goals, but we're also looking to increase access to programs like CalWorks, which has the power to give families about $1,000 a month who enroll, and has the power to mitigate child poverty. And we're also looking to try and keep families on critical benefits that are being attacked by some of these federal policy changes that unfortunately are starting to hit families. But easiest way is to give us some recommendations for the name of the pledge in chat. You can leave a comment on a sippy name. If you have a great idea. You can also engage with us directly. We're hosting 2 virtual sessions in the next couple of weeks. So there will be some details shared with you all on how you can engage in those virtual sessions. And then you could always visit our website. We're going to be lifting up the final pledge language on May 7th. So we're really excited to unveil that pledge language after we've engaged with several of our city stakeholders as well as community partners to really build out that language to help us achieve those 3 goals that I mentioned.
I love that, and I hope the snappy name, somebody can figure out something other than poverty alleviation. I mean, you know, it's a mouthful, but ending poverty is one concept. We want to also alleviate it. We want to prevent people from falling into poverty. So that's why I think that the nuance is important. So I look forward to create people more creative than us coming up with a way to really communicate that concept. Last thing for you, then we'll let you go get on your flight, Mayor Puza. You know, there are lots of misconceptions about poverty. You know, I have been known to try to help people understand, you know, they have that horrible racist, sexist trope about the welfare queen. You know, and I've been known to tell people, you can't be a queen on welfare. You can't be a queen when back then the average CalWorks grant was like $525 a month. Like, really? And so it feels like I've been fighting my whole life. You know, my parents were eligibility workers, and I think they were fighting the same, often racist, sexist misconceptions about who poor people are, how they got there. So do you think that us working together, the pledge itself, could perhaps alleviate this misconception about poverty?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, the what you just shared is so based in fear and antiquated. However, unfortunately, we're in that same space again because of the current federal administration and their policies that's really harming people in the worst kind of ways and just perpetuating the same old playbook of this country. Hopefully we can get beyond the racism, sexism, ableism, everything, and the classism to move our society forward, to make sure that everyone has enough. Because when we know, all tides rise when everyone is on the same, getting the same amount of resources. But I think, one of the biggest misconceptions about poverty is that it's individual failure. like the welfare queen or whoever, whatever the soup du jour is right now, it's, undocumented immigrants. But often it's really just a result of systemic barriers. So housing costs, wage stagnation, lack of access to affordable health or childcare, racism, limited economic mobility. So many people who are struggling just to work and working hard every day, and some people have multiple jobs and they still can't get ahead, and that has nothing to do with them as a person. It's about the system. And so I think this will hopefully not only do what it's supposed to do, but also just shift the conversation from blame to solutions, and addressing poverty with intentional policy, which is, Supervisor, what you do. You're so intentional about your policy. You're very much into investments in people and equity and partnerships across sectors, across cities. And then the final component to that is just tracking those outcomes and setting measurable goals, right? So we need to just track this, keep each other accountable. And, prevention is much about, just as much as about intervention, as you stated before. If we can stop people from going into poverty, falling into homelessness, that's much more valuable and worth it, and will save money in the long time, in addition to being humane, than anything else, and dealing with things that are, once they become exacerbated and really destitute.
Mayor Puza, I could not have said it better myself. I appreciate you. Kristina, any final words you want to share about the pledge and how we're going to make this work with our all 88 cities in LA County? Crossing my fingers.
Yes, I do want to lift that we are not going to leave the cities alone in helping us achieve these lofty goals. We are building out technical assistance based on the feedback that we're hearing from our city partners, that will include resources and even potentially some grants that we're working through with some funders to provide to local community-based organizations to go out and do some outreach and some work in partnership with cities. So technical assistance will be built out. The pledge will live on Poverty Alleviation Initiative's website. So we will have links to that website for folks to follow. Again, that pledge is going to be unveiled on May 7th. And then you already called it, Mayor Puza, the importance of using data to track our progress. We have our dashboard where folks can navigate now. If you go to our website, you click on data dashboards, it'll take you straight to the state of poverty dashboard, and cities can see how they're faring with local poverty rates in their cities. And in Culver City, I did a little bit of digging before this call, and 0 to 5, children 0 to 5 in your city, we've got about 25% of children living at 200% or below the federal poverty level. So a lot of opportunity related to these goals to help us help prevent families from falling into deeper poverty, do a lot of this mitigation work together, and get cash back in the hands of those that need it most. So really excited to partner with everyone on this project. Thank you so much, Supervisor Mitchell, for introducing this motion and helping facilitate this work, and really looking forward to what's to come in the next 2 years.
Thank you, Kristina. And I want people to know that you don't have to be a city leader or a mayor to look at the dashboard. It is really, really revealing for people to understand how many of your own family, friends, and neighbors are suffering every day. And it's only going to get worse with the passage of HR 1 and just the rising costs of just trying to survive in LA County. Thank you both from the bottom of my heart. Safe travels, Mayor Puza. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your weekend. Beautiful. That was fantastic. Mayor Puza was so insightful. It's a pleasure to work with Kristina, and I feel really good about the work we are going to accomplish together with city leaders to bring relief to Angelinos who need it and deserve it. So before I go, let me just say we've got a couple of, we've got some Metro good, exciting news. Go Metro. We've got a new Metro rail stop opening in the 2nd District. Hey, D-Line. The D-Line extension, Section 1 will open. And you see there the flyer, May 8th is the big kickoff. Be there, be square. It's going to be really exciting. And we are slowly but surely connecting LA County and the entire region. One expedited bus line with clean, efficient, timely bus service, affordable, and one rail line at a time. We're going to get it together. I'm very committed to this work, and I'm very deeply proud to be a Metro board director. So again, soon you'll be able to go Metro from downtown to the west side and stop at LACMA to check out the brand new David Geffen Gallery on your way. We did the ribbon cutting last week. It was extraordinary. This was a 20-year project from vision, the initial conversation that Michael Govan, the LACMA director, had with the architect was in 2006, and we did the ribbon cutting just last week. This project transferred over 3 generations of LA County Board of Supervisors. Right, it started with Yaroslavsky, Kuehl, then there was a redistricting, and Mitchell had the privilege of getting it across the finish line and cutting the ribbon and touring the inside of the gallery. Seeing Angelinos from all walks of life was just extraordinary, and I hope that you will go and see it soon. And after May 8th, you can take the D line to get there. So thank you for joining us for the April Sippin My Tea. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We will continue to improve to get better, but thank you for watching, and I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your evening.